the most popular Hawaiian island. It's actually the worst one to visit. Meanwhile, there's an island most tourists completely ignore that locals desperately wish you'd never discover. I've ranked all the Hawaiian islands from absolute paradise to overrated nightmare, and one placement genuinely shocked me. Let's start with Waikiki, and I'm about to say something that might sting. That famous beach you've seen in every travel brochure, it's less than 2 miles long. That's it. During peak season, you'll need to arrive before 8 a.m. just to find space for your towel. And those beach chair rentals, $80 to $120 extra per day. Here's what really gets me. Hotel rooms on the Waikiki Strip average $350 to $500 per night. Sounds premium, right? Well, most of these properties haven't been renovated since the 90s. You're paying luxury prices for thin walls, outdated rooms, and ocean views blocked by the aging tower next door. Then there's Kalakaua Avenue. It's basically an outdoor mall with the exact same stores you have back home. I watched a couple from Ohio fly 5,000 miles to shop at Gucci. They have a Gucci in Cincinnati, but the food situation, that's where things get truly painful. Poolside cocktails run $22 to $28. Resort breakfast buffets charge $55 per person. Even the convenience store snacks are marked up like they're selling you oxygen on Mars. And the timeshare people. Oh, the timeshare people. Tourists report being approached every 30 to 60 seconds during an evening walk. It's like a gauntlet, except instead of weapons, they're armed with clipboard enthusiasm and promises of free luau tickets. The strangest part is what visitors say afterward. People who spend their entire Hawaii trip in Waikiki consistently report never feeling like they actually experienced Hawaii. It's a bubble designed to keep your money circulating inside it, nothing more. Now, Waikiki's not even the worst offender on this list. The Kona Coast has entered the chat. The Big Island is massive. We're talking 4,000 square miles. You'd think that means endless amazing beaches, right? Wrong. The Kona Coast is mostly lava rock. Sharp, ankle-twisting lava rock. Those postcard-perfect beaches you're imagining, they exist, but they're small, packed, and honestly not worth what you'll pay to stay nearby. Here's the math that hurts. Resorts along Kona average $450 per night. For that price, you get rooms decorated like Reagan was still president, slow service, and a beach experience that Maui delivers for $100 less. But the real kicker? Traffic. Highway 19 through Kona turns into a parking lot during peak season. Google Maps says 20 minutes, budget 90. I've seen people miss luau reservations they'd paid $200 for because they underestimated the gridlock. And then there's VOG. Never heard of it? Lucky you. Volcanic smog from Kilauea drifts over and settles on the Kona coast regularly. Your tropical blue sky becomes gray soup. Your beach photos look like you vacationed in a cloud. Some visitors report headaches, irritated eyes, and general respiratory misery. Nobody mentions this in the brochures. Want to snorkel Kealakekua Bay, that famous Captain Cook spot? Good luck. They cap daily visitors at 100 people now. Reservations fill up weeks in advance. The centerpiece experience of your Big Island trip might simply tell you no. Oh, and the timeshare folks here make Waikiki's crew look like amateurs. They've perfected the art of the friendly ambush. The strange thing is, the Big Island has genuinely incredible experiences. They're just not where most tourists end up spending their money. Speaking of spending money in the wrong place, let's talk about Lahaina. Everyone says you have to go. Front Street gets marketed as the cultural heart of Maui. Historic downtown, authentic Hawaiian experience. What you actually find is a narrow corridor of jewelry stores and art galleries where a mediocre painting costs more than your flight did. And restaurants. So many restaurants charging $45 for pasta that wouldn't impress your grandmother. I walked into one place, looked at the menu, and genuinely thought it was a typo. Nope, just dinner. The historic label gets slapped on pretty liberally here. Most of what tourists photograph is commercial real estate dressed up to feel charming. It's like visiting a movie set that happens to accept credit cards. But here's where Lahaina really gets you. Parking. The lots fill completely by 9 in the morning. Street parking, you'll circle for 30 minutes before giving up and paying $25 for some guy's driveway. I timed it once. 27 minutes of my vacation, gone. Weekend restaurant waits hit 90 minutes for places serving food that's somehow both overpriced and underwhelming. It's impressive, actually. A rare combination. And the art galleries. Oh, the art galleries. They dominate entire blocks with salespeople who treat browsing like a negotiation. You wanted to look at a painting? Congratulations, you're now in a 40-minute conversation about financing options. The strangest part is how quickly Lahaina ends. People plan entire days around it. Most finish everything in 2 hours. Then they're standing there, credit card still warm, wondering what they missed. They didn't miss anything. They just experienced exactly what Lahaina offers. Now, if you want to see where resort prices really lose their minds, let's head to Kauai's Poipu Coast. Poipu calls itself Kauai's premium destination. And yeah, the prices certainly agree, $500 a night. That's your starting point, not the ceiling, the floor. But here's what that money actually buys you. Beaches that are genuinely smaller and more crowded than what you'd find driving 45 minutes north. Same island. Fraction of the drama, double the cost. It's like paying first-class prices for an economy seat that faces backwards. The resorts look beautiful in photos. Then evening hits and you realize there's nothing beyond the resort gates. Your dining options become expensive hotel restaurants or a strip mall down the road. Glamorous, right? And everyone talks about Spouting Horn, the famous blowhole. Tour packages charge $85 per person and burn half your day getting there. The actual experience? 4 minutes, maybe 5 if you really drag it out. Water shoots up. You take a photo. It shoots up again. Same photo. Done. Poipu Beach Park is legitimately nice. I'll give it that. But nice doesn't justify what they're charging when resort guests pack it so tightly you'd swear they were running a social experiment on personal space. The shopping situation tells you everything. One small outdoor mall with the exact same Hawaii merchandise you'd find at any ABC store on Oahu. For more money, obviously. Here's what actually bothers me about Poipu. Kauai has genuine magic. The North Shore has wilderness that stops you mid-sentence. Dramatic landscapes that feel like another planet entirely. But tourists drop their entire budget in Poipu instead. Highest prices on the island, most ordinary experiences. Speaking of artificial paradise selling itself as the real thing, there's a place on Oahu that took the concept even further. Ko'olina looks incredible in photos. Crystal clear lagoons, perfect crescent beaches, calm water that could pass for a swimming pool. That's because it basically is a swimming pool. Those famous lagoons, man-made, every single one. Construction crews carved them out of the coastline and trucked in sand to create beaches that nature never intended to exist here. You're paying $700 a night at Disney's Aulani Resort to swim in what is essentially a very expensive pond with excellent landscaping. The weirdest part? Once you're inside Aulani, you could be anywhere. Orlando, California, Tokyo. The rooms are nice. The service is fine. But nothing about it feels specifically Hawaiian beyond the gift shop merchandise. And Ko'olina sits 17 miles from Honolulu. That's 40 minutes of driving each direction if you want actual culture, real restaurants, or anything resembling authentic island life. Otherwise, you're stuck paying resort prices for everything. Casual lunch for two, $120 before drinks. A burger and fries that would cost $15 anywhere else suddenly costs $38 because, well, where else are you going to go? Here's what really gets me. Hawaii law guarantees public beach access. Technically, anyone can visit those lagoons, but Ko'olina mysteriously has almost no public parking. Strange how that works out. The whole development feels like a beautiful container with nothing inside. Comfortable? Absolutely. Safe? Without question. Connected to Hawaii in any meaningful way? Not remotely. Visitors fly 5,000 miles to experience something different. Then they check into a resort that works overtime to make everything feel exactly like home. Just warmer and more expensive, but enough about manufactured paradise. Let's talk about somewhere the real Hawaii actually shows up. Now we're talking. The North Shore is what most people imagine Hawaii looks like before they actually visit and discover reality. Except here, reality delivers. Winter waves hit 50 feet at Pipeline and Sunset Beach. 50. That's a 5-story building made of water trying to crush you. The world's best surfers compete here every year, and watching costs exactly $0. Just show up with a towel and prepare to feel inadequate about your own athletic abilities. But here's what surprised me most. The food truck scene is legitimately incredible. Giovanni's Garlic Shrimp has been operating from the same beat-up truck since 1993. The shrimp is swimming in butter and garlic. Your breath will clear rooms for hours afterward. Worth every consequence. Matsumoto's Shave Ice has lines around the block for a reason. And unlike Waikiki, you're standing next to actual locals, not just tourists photographing their food for 45 minutes before eating it. Halewa Town feels like Hawaii forgot to commercialize it. Small surf shops, local galleries with art that doesn't cost 3 mortgage payments, restaurants where servers recognize regulars by name. And the math works too. Accommodation runs 40 to 50% cheaper than Waikiki for comparable quality. You read that right. Better beaches, better food, better vibe, lower prices. During summer, Waimea Bay transforms completely. Those same waves that terrify professional surfers disappear entirely. The water becomes glass. Families splash around in conditions that would make a swimming pool jealous. Then there's sunset. No high-rise towers blocking the horizon, no resort music competing with the waves, just the Pacific swallowing the sun while you eat a $7 poke bowl. Speaking of roads worth traveling, let's talk about the most famous drive in Hawaii. The road to Hana is 64 miles of pure driving madness, 620 curves, 59 bridges, most of them one lane. And somehow, it's the best thing you'll do in Hawaii. Here's what nobody tells you. 90% of tourists chicken out before actually reaching Hana. They stop at a few waterfalls, take some photos, then turn around convinced they've done it. They haven't. The real magic happens when you commit. Push through those last 20 miles where the road gets narrow enough to make your rental car feel like a school bus. That's where the crowds disappear. Waiana Panapa State Park sits just before Hana with black sand that looks photoshopped. Sea caves, coastal trails, $5 gets you in. My first time there, I spent 3 hours exploring and saw maybe 12 other people. Then there's the 7 sacred pools at Oheo Gulch. Natural swimming holes stacked down a hillside toward the ocean like nature built a lazy river just to show off. No tour required, no reservation needed, just show up. Hana Town itself refused to sell out, no chain restaurants, no souvenir shops every 30 feet. Just a quiet community that feels like Hawaii did 50 years ago. But here's the real secret. Don't do it as a day trip. Everyone attempts the drive in one exhausting day. 8 hours of white-knuckle driving with brief tourist stops. That's not experiencing the road. That's surviving it. Book one night in Hana. Wake up early. Hit those trails when they're empty. Watch sunrise over the coastline instead of fighting traffic back to your hotel. Speaking of places that completely rewrite your understanding of what's possible on Earth, Kilauea has been erupting almost continuously since 1983. That's not a typo. Over 40 years of the Earth literally building itself while you watch. Most volcanoes make you wait decades for activity. This one treats eruptions like a daily habit. Hawaii volcanoes. National Park spreads across 335,000 acres of terrain that looks like another planet crashed into this one. Lava tubes you can walk through. Steam vents hissing from cracks in the ground. Craters so massive your brain refuses to process the scale. $30 per car. That's it. But here's where the Big Island really surprised me. Punalu'u Black Sand Beach sits about an hour from the park, and the sand isn't just dark. It's actual cooled lava, ground down by centuries of waves. Hawaiian green sea turtles haul themselves onto this beach regularly, just sunbathing like retirees in Florida. No tour needed, no reservation, they're just there. And the weird part is, the island keeps growing. Roughly 42 acres per year from ongoing lava flows. You can literally stand on land that didn't exist when you were in high school. Then there's Mauna Kea. The summit reaches nearly 14,000 feet, putting you above 40% of Earth's atmosphere. The stargazing up there makes anywhere else feel like you've been looking at the sky through a dirty window your whole life. Free public programs most evenings. Accommodation on this side runs $250 to $350 per night for resort quality. Maui charges double for the same experience. The Big Island gives you things no other Hawaiian island can. Actual geological drama happening in real time. Speaking of drama, there's a coastline in Kauai so spectacular that Hollywood keeps returning to film it. The Nepali coast doesn't care about your schedule. No roads reach it, no easy access exists, and that's exactly why it remains the most dramatic landscape in America. 4,000 feet of emerald cliffs dropping straight into the Pacific. 17 miles of coastline so pristine that Hollywood keeps coming back to film here. Jurassic Park, Pirates of the Caribbean, King Kong. Directors know what they're looking at. The Kalalau Trail stretches 11 miles along narrow cliff paths with the ocean crashing hundreds of feet below. Not a casual morning stroll, but every person who completes it says the same thing. Worth every blister. Now, if hiking 11 miles along cliff edges sounds like punishment, helicopters offer another option. $250 to $350 per person. Sounds steep until you're hovering beside waterfalls that plunge directly into the sea from heights that make your brain short-circuit. I'll be honest, I thought helicopter tours were overpriced tourist nonsense before I did one. I was completely wrong. The scale of these cliffs simply cannot be understood from ground level. Your photos will look fake. People back home won't believe them. Catamaran tours run cheaper at $150 to $180 per person. Sea caves you can boat directly into. Spinner dolphins that follow alongside for miles like they're personally escorting you. Here's what makes Kauai different from every other Hawaiian island. Local law prohibits any building taller than a coconut tree. Anywhere. The entire island. That means no resort towers blocking your sunset, no concrete jungles eating the horizon. Just landscape the way it looked before anyone decided to monetize it. The North Shore town of Hanalei sits right at the gateway to all of this. And speaking of towns that feel almost too perfect to be real, Lanikai Beach doesn't advertise, doesn't need to. While millions of tourists pack Waikiki fighting for towel space, this stretch of powder white sand sits 25 minutes away with a fraction of the crowds. Same island, completely different experience. Here's the thing, Lanikai consistently ranks among America's top 5 beaches. Not Hawaii's top 5, America's. Yet most visitors fly home without ever knowing it existed. Why? No signs point to it? No parking lots welcome you? Just narrow public access paths squeezed between residential homes that locals definitely aren't rushing to publicize. The water here stays calm year-round. An offshore reef handles the waves before they reach shore, creating swimming conditions so gentle your grandmother could float for hours. Actually, I watched someone's grandmother do exactly that. Now look offshore, those 2 small islands? The Makaluas, completely uninhabited wildlife sanctuaries with their own hidden beaches. $60 rents you a kayak for the morning. 20 minutes of paddling later, you're on an island with maybe 6 other people total. But wait, it gets better. The Lanikai Pillbox hike takes 45 minutes. Old World War II military lookouts perched on the ridge above the beach. The view from the top, that turquoise bay, those islands, the morning light hitting the water. Your phone will not do it justice. Take the photo anyway. The surrounding Kailua neighborhood has quietly developed one of Oahu's best food scenes. Restaurants that serve locals, prices that reflect it. Here's the real hack. Vacation rentals in Kailua run 30 to 40% cheaper than Waikiki hotels. Better beach, quieter streets, more money left for everything else. Some places become famous because marketing departments made them famous. Lanikai became famous because people couldn't stop telling their friends. That's the difference.